Discover the incredible moment a little girl revealed the heartwarming secret behind a millionaire. Emma, a spirited 8-year-old in the sunny suburb of Maplewood, was a bright light in every corner of her neighborhood. Her laughter rang like chimes on a summer breeze. With her stack of lemonade cups glistening under the sun, she set up her stand each day right next to the big oak tree. The world was wide open, and she had a dream: to fund the school's art program. Every cup she sold was a step closer to spreading creativity, painting smiles on faces young and old alike. On this particularly warm afternoon, as the sun bathed the street in golden hues, Emma's stand buzzed with familiar faces. "One lemonade, please," a teenager called out, digging into her pocket for change. Just then Mr. Thompson ambled by. The townspeople whispered about him like moths around a flame, casting shadows of judgments without a second thought. He was known as the town's millionaire, but people saw only his wealth, not the man. Emma noticed the way his shoulders slumped, like he carried the weight of the world. Her heart squeezed with empathy. "Would you like some lemonade, Mr. Thompson?" she asked, her voice sweet and innocent. He paused, surprised, before nodding slowly. As they sat together under the sheltering branches of the oak tree, their conversation flowed effortlessly. Emma recounted tales of her dreams, while Mr. Thompson shared snippets of his life, his struggles during the war, and how he fought hard for every bit of success. "People think I'm just a rich man," he said, looking out over the park where children played, "but I was once lost and alone." Emma listened intently, her heart softening. She could see the man behind the labels. He was warm as the summer sun, dedicated to making a difference, even if others couldn't see it. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." Despite the budding friendship, rumors swirled around town like dandelion seeds on the wind. When a wealthy developer threatened to bulldoze their beloved park for a shopping center, the community splintered into uncertain factions. Emma, buoyed by her newfound resolve, concocted a plan to showcase her classmates' artwork, a vibrant blend of colors reflecting their dreams, right in the heart of the park. She envisioned it as a celebration of community spirit, inviting Mr. Thompson to join forces with her. But as the event approached, doubts and misunderstandings took root. Murmurs grew louder, doubt overshadowing her joy. "Why is he involved?" they whispered, casting those shifty glances her way. Emma took a deep breath, determination bubbling within her. This was bigger than herself. It was about friendship, courage, and breaking barriers. Standing before Town Hall, she faced her community with pounding hearts and wide eyes. "Mr. Thompson cares," she pleaded, her small voice cutting through the tension. "He gave me hope." Silence washed over the room as everyone processed her words. Would they finally see the heart where riches masked their view? Emma could only wonder. Can compassion bridge the gap between wealth and character? A transformative moment was on the horizon, leaving hearts held in suspense. As the silence enveloped the town hall, Emma felt the weight of every eye upon her. Some glared, others were curious. It felt like standing in front of an army, yet she held her ground. Deep inside, her heart raced, but she clung to her resolve. Mr. Thompson shifted in his chair, his eyes darting from her to the crowd, uncertain yet hopeful. Just then Mrs. Whitmore, a respected teacher and longtime resident, stood up from the back of the room. The tension thickened again. "Emma," she began, her voice steady, "you've always been full of dreams. But we must be careful. People like Mr. Thompson have different motives." Emma clenched her fists, fighting to keep the tears at bay. "But you don't know him like I do. He is kind. He listens." Her voice cracked slightly, as emotions bubbled to the surface. The sight of Mrs. Whitmore's furrowed brow pierced her more than the harshest words. Suddenly, the doors swung open. The developer, Mr. Larson, strolled in with a confident strut. "What's this? A little girl taking on big decisions?" He chuckled, a mocking sound that rolled through the crowd like an unwelcome breeze. "I'm here to save this town. A shopping center means jobs. Emma's heart sank. The very essence of her project was at stake, all hanging in the balance with each passing second. Mr. Thompson finally spoke, his voice low, a roughened whisper of courage. And what good are jobs if we sacrifice our community? If we lose our park, we lose part of ourselves. A murmur spread through the audience. Emma watched Mr. Thompson's jaw tighten, the fire in his eyes sparking hope within her once again. We can have both, can't we? She shouted, her spirit soaring as the words took flight. We can show that art and business can work together. The crowd shifted noticeably. Some leaned in while others exchanged glances, their walls cracking just a bit. It was then Emma decided to take a chance. What if we had an art exhibition right here? A chance to show what our park means to us, to everyone? Her voice trembled with excitement. Mr. Thompson will help us. He believes in this community. I'd gladly support your vision, Emma. Mr. Thompson nodded, his eyes shining with admiration. Together, we can uplift this town, show everyone that kindness can prevail over money. Her plan sparked enthusiasm in her classmates and their parents, who began to murmur agreement. The idea swept through the room like a gentle breeze, refreshing and invigorating. Then Mr. Larson's expression darkened. You really think this will stop progress? He seem convinced. It was clear he wasn't about to back down easily. But at that moment, an unexpected voice rose from the audience. We want to support Emma and Mr. Thompson. It was Sam, a boy from her class, his courage inspiring others to join in. Art matters. Our park matters. One by one, hands went up. We're with you. Let us organize the event. The tide was turning. Emma felt her heart swell. The momentum brought a mix of anxiety and excitement. But as she looked around, she caught sight of Mr. Larson's disdainful grin. It sent chills down her spine. That look said he wouldn't give up, not without a fight. The echoes of enthusiasm filled the hall. Yet doubt still lingered in the air. Could they actually pull this off? Would it be enough to save the park? Emma glanced at Mr. Thompson, and she saw his determination reflect back at her. A flicker of hope ignited in her chest. We can do this, she whispered to herself. But the challenge loomed just ahead. Would they be strong enough to stand against the powerful forces threatening their dreams? And could kindness conquer the coldness of greed in Maplewood? The outcome was still uncertain, and fate hung in a delicate balance. As Emma stepped down from the podium, she felt the weight of responsibility grow heavier. Could their friendship and art be the key to revealing Mr. Thompson's true heart and saving their beloved park? As Emma stepped down from the podium, the room buzzed with energy, but her thoughts were a whirlwind. Her friends crowded around her, each bubbling with enthusiasm fueled by newfound hope. Sam grinned widely, his face alight with excitement. We can really do this, he exclaimed. An exhibition. Imagine all the paintings, the sculptures. Emma smiled back, feeling the warmth of their support, yet a knot tightened in her stomach. But do you think anyone will really come? Will they care enough to show up? Of course. Another friend chimed in. We love the park. Everyone loves it. Their faith made her heart flutter, but the sinister look on Mr. Larson's face haunted her thoughts. Just as quickly as the excitement rose, uncertainty began to creep in again. Let us start planning, Mr. Thompson said, his voice steady, cutting through her doubts. We need to gather ideas and set a date. Emma, it's your vision. What do you want to see? The room quieted, all eyes landing on her once more. Gathering her thoughts, Emma envisioned the park filled with life artists showcasing their work, families celebrating, laughter blending with music beneath the trees. I want it to feel like a festival. We should have food, music, and everyone can create something for the park. Yeah. And we can invite the local musicians too. Sam interjected. She felt a wave of inspiration wash over her. Emma began to sketch out her ideas on a notepad, each line representing a piece of her dream. It was electric, new life injected into their cause. Every stroke sent a thrill down her arm, as if painting a future they all could share. But then, a loud interruption came from the back of the room. This is all nonsense, Mr. Larson shouted, his voice booming and abrasive. You think an art show will stop real progress? This is just a distraction. The crowd murmur grew loud, a mix of anger and unease. Emma shivered slightly but pushed herself to keep going. We need to show the town what we stand for. Art matters. It unites us. It shows our love for this park, our community, and helps us remember what's at stake. Mr. Thompson stepped in once again, rallying the crowd. You all saw how quickly they nodded. Do you believe we can paint a picture of hope for everyone to see? To save the park that means so much to us? Even amid the uncertainty, Emma noticed people were shifting in their seats again. Heads were nodding, faces softened. Her voice was rising, filled with conviction. Let us personalize this. Let every participant share what the park means to them. We can document it all, turn it into a mural, a collage of our love. People began to whisper excitedly among themselves, ideas breaking like waves of color. A wave of relief washed over Emma. Perhaps they could really pull this off. But then, realization struck her. Logistical details swirled in her mind, and they had little time. Okay, so we need a committee, she stammered over the chatter. We can break into groups and assign tasks. But we have to do it quickly because we're against a deadline. With newfound determination, they formed a plan, discussions overlapping and energy soaring. As the ideas bounced back and forth, Emma began to feel the overwhelming weight lifting slightly. They were a team, all in this together. But lurking in the back of her mind remained the flicker of doubt. What would Mr. Larson do next? Could they really stand strong against his power? Emma knew this was just the beginning of their fight, and the shadows of uncertainty loomed large as they left that night. As Emma stepped outside into the cool evening air, a chill ran down her spine. She couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. She glanced over her shoulder, half expecting to see Mr. Larson lurking around the corner, planning his next move. What if the battle was only starting? And could they rally enough strength to defeat someone who clearly thrived on intimidation and greed? With her heart pounding, she took a deep breath, ready to face the challenge. Would hope and community become their greatest tools against the darkness of avarice? Emma felt a new resolve settle in her chest. They would fight for their park, no matter the cost. The next few days rolled by in a blur of meetings and ideas. Emma, alongside her friends, was up early and stayed up late, crafting a plan for the exhibition that could save the park. They inhabited the community center like bees in a hive, buzzing and flitting between activity sheets, sketches, and overflowing cans of colorful paint. The energy was contagious, and Emma often caught herself smiling at Sam's antics, or the way Mia spun around excitedly as she shared her latest idea about food trucks. Yet, even as anticipation swelled, the specter of Mr. Larson's refusal loomed over them. While her friends painted murals and arranged flyers, Emma couldn't help but think about how he might respond to all this enthusiasm. There was no denying they were up against a wall built on greed and disregard for their beloved park. One afternoon, they gathered in the park to brainstorm. The sun played hide and seek behind fluffy clouds, painting the grass in shifting patches of light. The laughter of children echoed nearby, and that curious warmth built hope in Emma's heart. They turned their notes and ideas into loose plans, mapping out every detail with infectious excitement. But a shadow passed once more as Emma caught sight of Mr. Larson striding down the path heading toward them. Panic surged through her chest. Everyone, scatter, she whispered urgently, but something hesitant in her friends' faces made her steel her spine. They weren't kids running away anymore. They were fighters. Mr. Larson approached, his expression a mask of intimidation. What's this? He scoffed, his eyes narrowing. More artistic nonsense? You think this will make a difference? Emma's heart raced. They were going to stand their ground. Yes, Mr. Larson, she said, voice clear but trembling. This is about more than art. It's about showing everyone what this park means, what it means to us as a community. He laughed, a harsh sound that sliced through the sunny afternoon. You think some paintings and music are going to stop progress? You're naive. We're not naive, Sam shouted boldly, stepping in front of Emma as if to shield her. We believe in something bigger than your greed. The air filled with tension, thick and knotty. Emma could sense the crowd around her shifting, whispering and glancing nervously at one another. They weren't just standing for themselves, they were standing together. We want the town to see the value this park brings to our lives. Your plans don't account for the heart that's buried here. For a moment, Larson's icy expression faltered. Emma could see doubt flicker behind his eyes, the tiniest crack. But before she could think he might back down, he straightened and sneered. You're playing with fire. This isn't just art, it's a distraction from real issues. Lose this battle, and I will make sure you all regret it. With that, he turned sharply and left, leaving behind a silence that felt heavy. Emma's heart thudded in her chest, and her friends exchanged worried glances. The urgency of their efforts crystallized in a sudden clarity. This was more than a project. It was a fight for their community, for the soul of the park they cherished. Okay, team, Emma said, resolved. We need to get moving. Let us show him what we really stand for. With newfound determination, they poured every ounce of their energy into preparing for the exhibition. Weeks of hard work flew by. Posters went up, emails were sent, and the excitement began to reach a fever pitch. They had planned everything: the music lineup, the food vendors, the activities for kids. But in the back of Emma's mind, the question loomed larger. Would it be enough? The countdown began. As the day of the exhibition approached, the tension was palpable. Emma caught herself biting her nails more than usual, reflecting on whether anyone from the community would actually show up. Would they rally in support of their fight, or was this battle already lost? On the eve of the exhibition, Emma stood alone in the park, gazing at the fading sunlight skimming the leaves. She could feel the weight of their efforts pressing down on her. Emma took a deep breath, remembering the energy and hope she felt when they first started this journey. They had to believe. But as night fell, a rustle in the bushes caught her attention. Two piercing eyes blinked back from the shadows. Her heart raced. What was hiding there? The thrill of what lay ahead mingled with the mystery lingering behind her, and Emma couldn't shake the feeling that something big was on the horizon. What other surprises awaited them, both in their efforts to save the park and beyond? The rustle in the bushes grew louder, and Emma's heart sped up. Those piercing eyes seemed to reflect the very essence of curiosity. What could it be? She took a tentative step closer, her breath catching in her throat. And then, as if sensing her approach, a small, scruffy dog tumbled out of the undergrowth, wagging its tail furiously and barking in delight. Emma let out a relieved laugh, the tension easing from her chest. But just as quickly, she realized that this little creature might be more than a simple distraction. Hey there, buddy. She knelt down, extending her hand cautiously. The pup sniffed her fingers before licking her palm, and Emma's heart melted. Where did you come from? As the dog wagged its tail, Emma noticed something around its neck, a frayed collar attached to a tiny piece of fabric. Curiosity bloomed in her heart. Could it be a leash that belonged to a local? She quickly glanced around, hoping to see someone searching for their pet, but the park was still and quiet under the moonlight. With the dog now snuggled against her legs, Emma stood up, glancing back toward the community center. An idea struck her, bright and vivid. I've got it, she exclaimed. Gathering her thoughts, she turned back to her friends who had just joined her. Mia's eyes widened as she saw the pup. What's that? Mia rushed over, eager to pet the newfound friend. This little guy could be our secret weapon. Emma smiled as excitement sparked in her friends' expressions. What if we have a dog corner at the exhibition, where people can bring their pets and learn about responsible pet ownership? It could draw in more families. People love their pets. Sam chimed in, his face breaking into a wide grin. And if there's one thing we need, it's foot traffic to fill this park with life. The energy shifted, and soon they were buzzing with ideas again, fueled by fresh enthusiasm. They pooled their resources, brainstorming ways to include a pet-focused area. Games, contests, and even a pet parade started to take shape. The tension from earlier was forgotten, transformed into laughter and hope. Meanwhile, the little dog, now dubbed Buddy, seemed to sense the change in energy, barking happily, his tiny tail wagging nonstop. He became a part of their group, loved and cherished as they wove their plans into vibrant ideas. Emma felt a spark of joy each time she saw her friends laughing with him, igniting the room's creative atmosphere. The night wore on, filled with sketches and laughter. Finally, exhausted but exhilarated, they settled down, surrounded by pizza boxes and discarded notes. Okay, one last thing, Mia said, wiping pepperoni grease from her fingers. What if we made a mural with Buddy? To highlight the importance of community and animals together? Emma's heart swelled. That is perfect. Something that means both the park and our new little friend. Just then, Emma glanced at the clock. It was past midnight. We've got to get some rest. Tomorrow is going to be huge. As they packed up, a new wave of excitement washed over them. They had turned uncertainty into possibility. But as they walked home, Emma couldn't shake a lingering feeling of unease. Would they truly unite the community? Would it be enough to sway Mr. Larson's plans? The question echoed in her heart as she lay in bed that night, surrounded by plans and dreams. Tomorrow was their moment to shine, but would it also be their moment to fight? She dozed off with Buddy curled beside her, taking refuge in the warmth of their collective dreams. Meanwhile, unknown to Emma, the winds of the park carried a whisper of something unexpected, a clue to Mr. Larson's secret intentions. What could it be? And how would it change everything? Emma woke the next morning to the soft warmth of Buddy nudging her side. Sunlight streamed through her window, illuminating the scattered notes and sketches from the previous night. A wave of excitement washed over her as she remembered their plans. Today was the day they would bring their ideas to life. With a determined sigh, Emma rolled out of bed and quickly got ready. Buddy followed her eagerly, trotting around the room, his tail wagging in pure delight. "All right, Buddy," she said, scratching his ears. "Let us make some magic happen today." At the community center, the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. Emma and her friends set up their station for the dog corner, arranging colorful banners, dog treats, and bowls of water. Other volunteers had already started drawing up the mural, filling the wall with vibrant colors and images of happy pets and families. Emma couldn't help but smile at the scene. Her vision was becoming reality. As families began to trickle in, she felt the energy shift. Children laughed and ran around, dogs barked happily, and the air was filled with a sense of community. Emma glanced at Mia, who was handing out flyers about responsible pet ownership, her eyes shining with purpose. "This is amazing," Mia exclaimed, looking around. "We might just pull it off." For hours, they engaged with visitors, sharing stories and advice, and Buddy became the star of the show, bringing smiles to everyone. Emma felt a surge of pride as she watched her little friend mingle between kids, letting them pet him while pulling at the heartstrings of their parents. But as the excitement reached a peak, Emma noticed a figure lingering at the edge of the park. Mr. Larson stood there, arms crossed, watching the festivities. Her stomach churned. She could see the disapproval etched on his face, a dark shadow stirring among the brightness of their event. "Hey, is everything all right?" Sam asked, catching her worried expression. "I don't know. Larson doesn't he look happy?" Emma replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "What if he tries to shut this all down?" Mia's smile faltered. "We'll have to show him how valuable this is. We're building something good here, Emma. He can't just take that away." As they spoke, Mr. Larson finally stepped forward, joining the crowd. He approached Emma with a calm but firm expression. "I didn't expect to see so many people here," he said, his voice steady. "But you do realize this isn't what I had planned for this park, don't you?" Emma took a deep breath, determination flooding her veins. "But it's what the community wants. They love their pets and want to learn how to care for them. This is about bringing people together." Her heart raced. Would he understand? Would he see the importance of their efforts? As she waited for his response, the crowd grew quiet, eyes shifting between the two. Mr. Larson frowned, considering her words. Just when it seemed he might relent, a sudden shout broke through the tension, drawing attention to the other side of the park. Emma's heart sank as she turned to see a group of children with Buddy. The little dog had slipped his collar and was now bounding toward the pond. "Buddy!" she shouted, panic rising in her chest. All eyes were on her as she sprinted toward the edge of the water, her heart pounding. What if something happened to him? But she couldn't let fear take over. She had to save her friend. She could feel Mr. Larson watching her, a mixture of skepticism and genuine concern in his gaze. Emma pushed herself harder, thoughts racing. If she couldn't rescue Buddy, would this moment turn into a disaster? "Hold on, Buddy. I'm coming," she yelled, her voice cracking with urgency. As she reached the edge of the pond, she could see Buddy splashing in the water, tail wagging as he chased after a floating leaf. Emma's heart swelled with relief, but she still needed to get him out. In that moment, a realization struck her. She needed to protect what they had created today, not just for Buddy, but for the entire community. What would that take? Emma reached for the rope of determination, ready to fight for their little corner of joy. Would she be able to convince Larson of their mission? Or would the day take a turn for the worse? Emma dove into the cool pond, water splashing around her as she reached for Buddy. The little dog yipped excitedly, oblivious to her panic, still chasing the leaf that danced over the water's surface. Come on, Buddy, come here. She stretched, feeling the mud cling to her legs, but it didn't matter. All that mattered was getting him back to safety. As she grasped his collar, a roar of laughter erupted from the crowd. Glancing over her shoulder, she saw children giggling and pointing while parents exchanged amused glances. Emma focused back on Buddy, relief washing over her as she pulled him close. I've got you, you silly pup, she breathed, feeling his warm body press against her. The laughter faded into a soft murmur, though as Emma turned to face Mr. Larson, the look on his face was one of shock, but also something else. Had she just changed his perspective with that small act of love and determination? Are you all right? He asked, concern softening his stern expression. Emma felt a flicker of hope. Maybe there was a chance to make him see the good in their event. Buddy, satisfied with his adventure, shook the water off himself, splattering Emma and Mr. Larson in the process. Emma couldn't help but laugh. Guess he really enjoyed that swim. Mr. Larson's lips twitched, holding back a smile. Maybe more than he should have. Feeling emboldened, Emma took a step closer. We're creating something special here, Mr. Larson. It's not just a pet corner. It's about community. It's about love for animals and each other. Look around at everyone. They're happy. Emma turned to face the crowd, who had begun to cheer for both her and Buddy, clapping and sharing their approval. Their joy filled the air, and Emma's heart raced. The hope that had once flickered was now blazing brightly in her chest. Isn't that what we want for this park? A place where families can come together? Emma pressed, feeling a sense of urgency as she held his gaze. We can make it a safe space for our pets and the people who love them. He hesitated, fingers tightening on his arms. The skepticism in his eyes was slowly softening, but the uncertainty lingered. Just then, a little girl ran up, her small hands full of colorful dog treats. Mr. Larson, look. Buddy is the best dog. Can we come here every week? See? Emma interjected, her voice filled with conviction. The kids love it. They're learning to care for their pets, and to love them responsibly. Mr. Larson stood silent, his brow furrowing as he weighed the words she'd spoken. So much energy and passion filled the air around them. Emma could almost see the cogs turning in his mind. Just then, a commotion erupted from the other side of the park as another dog, this one a larger breed, leaped into the fray, barking joyfully as it dashed toward the pond too. Panic flooded back through Emma's chest. No. Not again. She gasped, already dashing toward the new threat. Would she be able to regain control once more? Would Mr. Larson see the value in what they were doing, or would it all fall apart? Emma felt the stakes rise, hoping against hope that the beauty of their day wouldn't slip away in chaos. What kind of moment would unfold next? Emma's heart raced as she sprinted toward the pond, her mind swirling with thoughts of Buddy and the new dog barreling toward them. The last thing she wanted was for the joyful atmosphere to turn into chaos. Stay back, she shouted to the crowd, her voice cutting through the laughter and excitement. She could see the larger dog, a rambunctious golden retriever, bounding toward her with boundless energy and enthusiasm. Each leap sent waves crashing against the pond's muddy bank. Just as the golden retriever splashed into the water, Emma caught a glimpse of its owner, a frazzled woman frantically waving her arms on the sidelines. I'm so sorry, the woman called out, her cheeks flushed. He's just having fun. Emma couldn't let panic take over, not now. She focused on the retriever, trying to redirect its attention. Rover, come here. She beckoned, clapping her hands to attract its gaze. Buddy, sensing the shift in energy, bolted forward, barking at the newcomer as if to say, hey, wait for me. The crowd watched with bated breath, caught between laughter and concern. Okay, just calm down, Emma murmured to herself, crouching down, hoping that her calm demeanor might help regain control of the situation. The golden retriever turned at the sound of her voice, its tail wagging like a flag. That's it. Over here. To Emma's relief, the dog diverted its attention, plowing through the water toward her. She extended her arms, ready to intercept the golden fur ball before it could further disrupt the gathering. Just as she thought she had it under control, Buddy decided to join in the chase, darting past her and splashing water everywhere. The laughter from the crowd resumed, but now it was filled with warm affection for the chaos rather than concern. Emma couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. There they were, two dogs losing themselves to joy, while she stood in the middle, half soaked and half victorious. And then she felt it. A shift in the air around her. Mr. Larson seemed to be watching, an amused glint sparking in his expression, his frown easing as he observed the children laughing and clapping their hands in delight. There was something transcendent about that moment. It was a beautiful reminder of why they had gathered. Before Emma could dwell on it, the little girl from earlier, still clutching her colorful dog treats, rushed over again, this time with excitement radiating from her. "Mr. Larson!" she shouted, her tiny face beaming with enthusiasm. "Can we adopt this one too? He looks so much fun." The laughter swelled again, but this time it carried a heavier weight, a weight of realization. Emma caught Mr. Larson's eye, and for the first time he didn't look resistant. He seemed to be contemplating the connection unraveling before him. "Maybe," he began, but just then the little girl piped up. "He needs a buddy. Just like Buddy. Can we make a dog park? For all the friends." All eyes turned to Mr. Larson. The moment hung heavy in the air, ripe with possibility. Emma's heart raced as she sensed this could be the rush of change she had been fighting for. But Mr. Larson was still processing, and there was a moment of silence. Unease crept back into Emma's chest. Would he embrace this wave of community, or stand firm behind his walls? As he opened his mouth to reply, another voice pierced the air. "We want a dog park." The crowd erupted in a chorus of agreement, their chants filling the park and washing over Emma like a flood of hope. In the rush of emotions that followed, she couldn't help but think, what if today wasn't just about saving Buddy or calming the golden retriever? What if this was about carving a place for everyone in their community? And as the laughter and cheers continued, Emma glanced back at Mr. Larson, wondering would he take this leap or let opportunity slip away? What would he decide to do next? The crowd buzzed with anticipation, eyes fixed on Mr. Larson. Emma felt the swell of hope in her chest, a buoyant feeling lifting her spirits. They all seemed to hold their breath, ready for his answer. His gaze swept across the children with wide eyes and dangling dog treats, to the laughter that rippled through the adults. "Really? You all want a dog park?" His voice was shaky, straining against the weight of disbelief. "Yes," the little girl shouted again, pumping her fist in the air, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Something shifted within Mr. Larson as he looked back at the packed playground. The sheer number of hearts beating in unison. Maybe it was the golden retriever, splashing about like a joyous tidal wave. Or maybe it was the collective energy urging him to finally embrace the idea he had resisted for so long. Emma took a tentative step forward. "It could really bring everyone together," she said softly, her heart pounding as hope mingled with uncertainty. A dog park would let pets play freely together. It could turn the park into a community center. His words hung between them, and she could see the wheels turning in his head. A surge of energy shot through the crowd. More voices chimed in, each expressing excitement and support. "Imagine all the kids and their dogs." Someone shouted from the back. "We could have events and dog training classes." Another added. As they spoke, a smile broke through Mr. Larson's stern exterior. It was as if someone had cracked a long dormant shell, revealing a heart eager to join in the celebration. Yet Emma could also see a thread of doubt still lurking behind his eyes. "I'll think about it." He raised a hand to quiet the growing excitement. "But we're going to need a lot of help to make this work. It won't be just me deciding." The crowd erupted in cheers, but Emma noticed that Mr. Larson's face had darkened slightly. Had he just realized the weight of responsibility he was about to take on? A nervous hush fell over her as she watched him grapple with the idea of not just building a dog park, but building a community. "Count us in," called a voice from the back. It was a young mother with a toddler and a terrier tugging at her leash. I'll help with the fundraising. But what about the permits? Someone else chimed in, and conversation sparked all around them. Ideas flared like fireworks, music nights, bake sales, dog shows. Each idea sparked more enthusiasm. Twisting within the tapestry of community vision, Emma felt a flutter of excitement. This was it. After all their efforts, the dream of a vibrant, shared space was inching closer. But there was something deeper there, to the realization that sometimes, together, they could build more than just a park. They could weave a community fabric that brought comfort, joy, and connection in a world that often felt too lonely. Then suddenly the little girl, still clutching her colorful treats, gazed up at Mr. Larson. Can we start today? Please. The way she pleaded felt like a quiet spark igniting a growing blaze. Emma turned back to Mr. Larson, her breath held tight. Would he say yes? Could this be the day when everything changed? And as he looked down at that little hopeful face, the weight of the moment pressed on them all, leaving a lingering question in the air. Would he seize this opportunity for a real transformation? Or would fear keep him locked in his fortress? Mr. Larson took a long breath, his brows furrowing as he considered the question, a flicker of uncertainty dancing in his eyes. The laughter around them faded into an anxious hush, every heartbeat echoing the readiness that had filled the park mere moments before. Emma could feel that same current of hope thrumming through her chest, but the fear of his rejection loomed just overhead. Finally, his gaze softened as he knelt to meet the little girl's bright eyes. All right, he said, his voice steady but tinged with vulnerability. Let us see what we can do to make this dog park, this community center, a reality. A collective cheer erupted from the crowd, and Emma felt as if the weight of the world had lifted from her shoulders. Joy cascaded through the air, wrapping around her like a warm embrace. They done it. Together, they unblocked the barriers of skepticism and fear that had held their dreams hostage. Suddenly, people began to shout out ideas, their voices melding into a symphony of excitement. We should meet next week to get started. Someone called. I've got contacts in City Hall, we can set up a meeting for permits. Another chimed in. Emma watched as the community organically structured itself, transforming into a vibrant action force. Mr. Larson straightened, a glimmer of newfound energy illuminating his features. Standing among the throng of children, parents, and laughter, there was something undeniably different about his presence. And I'll offer a small fund to help kickstart the projects, he declared, waiting for the applause to settle. But I'll need your ideas and passion to guide me, because this is about all of you. It's a united vision, one that needs heart. Emma couldn't help but beam with pride. She caught Mr. Thompson's supportive gaze, and felt an overwhelming gratitude. He had believed in her from the start, guiding her to this moment. Thank you, Mr. Thompson, she whispered, and he nodded, his eyes sparkling with warmth. The ball was rolling now, and as the sun dipped low in the afternoon sky, the air filled with laughter, hope, and plans for the future. Emma's heart raced, filled with the satisfaction of perseverance and unity. They had found each other and shared dreams, proving that no matter how heavy the weight of wealth or status, true connection is born from the heart. Walking through the crowd, Emma hugged Buddy close, thankful they had created something beautiful out of uncertainty. Everyone was bustling around her, discussing ideas, painting future murals, and preparing for events they would host in their new community space transformed from simple projections to a living dream. The thrill of unity ignited something powerful in the park, creating ripples of change. Every scream of delight from a child, every bark from a dog, reminded them that together they could face whatever challenges lay ahead, be it a developer or the adversity of feelings they had each suppressed for too long. As night fell, Emma stood before the assembled community. This is just the beginning, she proclaimed, her voice bursting with excitement. Together, we can make this park a home, a place where dreams flourish and bonds are built. And with that, as she soaked in the jubilant cheers, Emma felt a shift within herself, a moment of realization that resonates much deeper than the day's events. She had changed. She had learned that courage often starts from a place of love, and bringing color to the world takes a community, the willingness to lay down fears and embrace challenges together, hand in hand. But just as they celebrated, Emma glanced over her shoulder, catching Mr. Larson's eye once more. He was no longer just the millionaire everyone feared. He was a partner, a brother-in-arms in this shared adventure. As streams of light flickered from the lanterns hung in the trees, Emma realized that the best stories often aren't just about triumphs, but the small moments that lead to transformation. And for Maplewood, this was their story, the story of a community deciding to turn the page. So as the celebration continued into the night, filled with laughter, promise, and togetherness, a new chapter had begun, one where love and compassion had claimed victory over greed. Emma smiled, fully embracing the journey ahead with confidence and joy. And if you felt that spark of hope with Emma, now is the time to join this journey. You need to subscribe now, so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, and comment your reactions and feelings about this ending. Don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Together, let us continue spreading love and inspiration.